guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to be telling you the things Camp America don't really tell you. The things you don't really know until you're there, and definitely things I wish I knew to just be ready for, because it is an intense experience, be it a fun one. It is just a whole experience. All of this stuff I'm going to talk about is when you're at the camp. It's purely camp life. First one is days off. You do not have a full day off. You have off a time in the day, so from 8 AM until 10 at night. That is your time off. So you don't get to go and sleep somewhere else, or you don't get to go and leave your cabin and like say bye to your campers. You will always wake up with them and put them to bed. So a day off, it is time off, but you don't really ever get time off at camp. Not going to lie, there's always going to be something to do. You know, kids are curious, they just want to know where you're going. And actually, when I had my days off at camp, you kind of feel famous. It's like a weird way to put it. So when I went on my day off, I dressed different, I had makeup on, and all the campers are like, where are you going, what are you doing, tell me everything. That isn't really work, you know, that's more social and fun. The weather, so in my first camp there was thunderstorms, rain, it was intense weather. It didn't ever get at all sunny. It was warm, but it never got roasting. Whereas my second camp, it was genuinely so sunny and warm. Some days I just couldn't do it, because obviously I'm from Scotland and it's never sunny here, to be honest. The heat is just a different level. So I would definitely say be prepared for both extremes of the weather, because I've never experienced thunderstorms like you experience at camp. So the next thing is you get zero personal space. At both camps I was on a bunk bed. I was on the bottom bunk my first camp, on the top bunk in the second camp, and actually I tactically picked the top bunk because then, well, my mindset was, and this actually sounds quite bad to say, but if a kid comes during the night they will normally go to the bottom bunk, but unfortunately that didn't happen to me. I think if a kid wants to go to a certain counsellor, they will climb up to your bunk. Besides the point, zero personal space. You share your living area with counsellors and campers. So in my first camp, I had a cabin with purely counsellors, and it was luxury. So peaceful, so tidy and clean. The counsellors had a cabin here and the campers had a cabin here. And we would just go, tuck them up in bed. It was either hug, high five, handshake, and then nighttime, lights out, done, that was it. Whereas my second camp, you lived in with the campers and bedtimes were a thing. It wasn't as simple as like, bye, I'm going now, like lights off, good night. Because you're in the same bunks, you know about it, because you are exhausted at the end of the day. You're so tired, you're at the end of your string, is that the right phrase? End of your tether, and you just want to go to bed, have a good night's sleep. I would say no personal space, and you're always working. Which goes on to my next one. The work is hard. It's not a summer holiday. I think Camp America sometimes comes across as this magical illusion that is, you're basically a kid for the summer, but it really isn't. It's really hard work. You're up early, you go to bed late. It's just a lot on your physical but also mental health. Like, you really have to learn patience and just to handle yourself in all situations, because one minute you're hosting a dance class and the next minute you have a camper fainting, having a temper tantrum, walking out. Like, there's just tons that can happen, so just be prepared. It is hard work, but it's doable. At the start it's kind of a shock to the system, but you get into routine. The next thing is, some camps do not allow phones at all. So my first camp, I could not take any photos with campers on the campsite. Phones were banned. If you were seen with your phone, you would, it was really strict. So I think if you were seen with your phones a few times, you would pretty much have your job threatened. They would threaten you with your job and they would be like, we can fire you at any point. Like, it's not a contract where you have to stay. They can fire you at any time of the summer. Whereas the second camp, they were so lenient. We were allowed our phones, we took photos with the campers, I vlogged the campers. They had no kind of privacy issues at all. It was like chalk and cheese in a sense, because the first camp, no phones, dead serious. And the second camp, they honestly could not care. It just depends on your camp. I would say be prepared to not be on your phone. Living conditions. You're not in a 5-star hotel or a palace. It is proper camp, rustic conditions. So in the first camp, basically, this is what it was kind of like. So I'll give you a little insight into what my camp director said the first night I got there, right? So she sat all the international staff down and she said, so intimidating, she was like, if you don't like this, put your hand up and we'll get you on a flight straight back now. She was like, if you want out, this is your time to say. Because it was, I just can't even describe it. So you live in platform tents and the tents don't close properly. There's spiders in them, all sorts of bugs and insects, and I mean massive spiders. Yes, you're literally living in nature outdoors. And also, the thing they don't really tell you that is really serious in both camps I encountered was bears and coyotes. And I'm being serious, genuinely bears. This is a little bear poem that I learned, which they tell you, because if you see a bear, which I know my friends have seen a bear on camp, like I'm genuinely being serious, okay? So the poem is, if it's brown, lie down, sit down, get down. Because brown bears, if they feel threatened, they'll attack you, so it's best to play dead, like just get down, you know, brown, get down. If it's black, you attack, because black bears run away if they feel threatened. So unless, I think, if they're hungry or scared, that's when they'll come to you. But most of the time, if it's black, just, you know, be big, fight back. So many times I was bit by mosquitoes or like a spider. One time I was bit by a spider in my sleep and I had to go and get a circle drawn round it, because if it got past the circle, it was poisonous. Obviously it was poisonous anyway, but it was like bad poisonous. Do you know what I mean? A few people got ticks, which they don't tell you about. Tick checks are a thing. Hydration, sun cream, basically just all the protective things. Take them. Okay, so the next thing, do not do it for the money, because I lost money. Both times, actually. 100% I lost money. In case you think, oh, I'm going to go, have a fun summer, save up money. No, no, no. Like, it's genuinely pockets. It's not even pocket money. They say to you it's pocket money. It's less than that. It's honestly not. Like, you're working 24 hours a day for 2 full months and you get $750. No, no, no. I would say the Camp America illusion is an illusion. It's not pretty. You need to clean up everything. Campers are sick. You need to clean up. They're sick. You need to get dirty. Like, it's not kind of pretty job. Yeah, so I would say just be prepared to deal with everything, you know? Tears, snot, sick. Just be ready for it. Be ready. Another thing I didn't expect to happen at camp, you make friends for life. So I have got friends from my first camp and we're best friends now, genuinely. You go through some of the toughest times at camp, but it properly bonds you and brings you stronger. I'm going to end this video on a high because this is something I didn't expect to happen, but it did. So my heart, my heart grew a lot. When I went to camp, I was not that much affectionate or huggy, or I just wasn't very loving. See, after camp, I felt so maternal. Like my maternal instincts, it just proper raises them. If I heard a kid cry or moan, like my ears just picked up and I was like, whoa. And before, I was like, oh, kids, no thanks. Genuinely, after you go to camp, if you see a wee toddler in the street or something, you're like, hi. It just properly changes the game. And I know so many people who went to camp and they've now realised that they want to be a teacher. Your heart definitely grows and you get 100% more open and affectionate, maternal, just all those things, all the feels, and you just love a place and campers. And I genuinely loved my campers as if they were like my kids. Bunk 34. Miss you guys. So I think that's everything. As much as it sounds intense and a bit scary and full on, obviously yes, that does happen, but there's also so much fun and love and just exciting times. Don't let anything hold you back, but just be prepared that it is going to be hard work. I think after the first week, your mind and your body totally just switches and you're in camp counselor mode. Whew, that was actually really fun. I enjoy talking about it because it just brings me back to the camp times and all the memories, and it's honestly such a surreal and happy time. Definitely a once in a lifetime experience. After I left camp, I was at the peak of my confidence, the peak of life. Like, you just feel unbeatable. If you can do that, you can do anything. Also, another thing, you come back so Americanized. Like, I say laundry sometimes. I still say swimsuits, not bathing suits. Sometimes I'm like trash and I'm like, oh, sorry, what? Like, I've not been there in 2 years and I'm still saying American words. Some British aren't a big fan of big loud Americans, and you definitely, it kind of rubs off on you, but you don't really realise it till you're back and you're like, oh my gosh, I have turned into a kind of American. Cannot recommend it enough. Staff training is tough. Staff training is the time where make lots of friends because they will get you through it. There's a time where you're like, oh my gosh, this is serious. You kind of get a shock at one point and you're like, oh my gosh, can I do this? But you can and you will. If I can do it, you can do it. I will see you again in my next video. Hope you enjoyed this and it gave you some insight. It informed you, helped you. If you would like any other videos surrounding my Camp America experience, please leave them below. Thanks for watching and I'll see you again in my next one. Bye!